Welcome to the Social University podcast. We are so glad you're joining us today because we want to help business owners, entrepreneurs, and people just like you who want to build their business online. Listen, if we can do it, you can do it. So let's go.
Good morning. I am Karen Taradas with Social U. It is time for What's Up Wednesday, where we come to you live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central to talk about social media tips, tricks, and trends. And all this month, we're going to be doing spring cleaning. Today, we're going to talk about your marketing. April the 9th, we're going to talk about your website. The 16th is social media. The 23rd is email, and the 30th is your actual workspace, which will lead us into Mental Health Month in May. So let's go ahead and get started. Because of what we do, of course, I have a tendency I am partial to digital media, of course I am. So let's talk about, first and foremost, the most common mistakes that small business owners, all business owners make. There's really 5. Not understanding your audience. You do not sell to everyone, period. Yes, you can sell to anyone, but you have to have a target to start with, or it's almost impossible to hit it. And I kind of, I explain it like this. You would not get in your house as a real estate agent and just drive around and hope to find something for sale. You have a plan before you get started. So you have to understand who you're dealing with, because that determines where you go. That plan, that strategy comes into play after you have a firm grasp of your audience. So understanding who your target audience is and then generating a plan. Those are the biggest mistakes, because a lot of business owners don't have that. They just know they have a good product and they're excited to share it with everyone. And there's no strategy in place. Inconsistency in your messaging or focus or posting. Consistency is everything. You have to show up. It looks like consistent branding online. It looks like consistent posting online. You might not be surprised how often we'll do an audit or we'll take a look at someone's social media presence and there hasn't been anything posted for years. People check Facebook. They do. It's part of the world. And if you don't have an updated presence on Facebook, people don't think you're open. You cannot escape it. Even if you're only posting twice a week, you have to post consistently so that people know that you're there. Plus, Google checks for that kind of stuff too. The 4th biggest mistake is not using social media. If you're not currently building your community, or you're coming across as too salesy, you are not helping yourself. Many years ago, Gary Vee was asked, what's the ROI of social media? And he said, well, what's the ROI of your mom? She's not something you could do without. And I have one of the vendors we work with said, without beyond a shadow of a doubt, he's like, I might not be able to measure consistently the sales that are made from a website or from social media, but I guarantee you without it, there will be no sales. And that is one of the most accurate statements I have ever heard. You cannot not exist online and maintain a business presence. You can't. So social media is a very necessary part of your business plan. And then the number 5, your website. It has to be updated. It has to be mobile ready. I cannot believe in the year 2025, I'm having to tell business owners, optimize on mobile. Painful. So each of these, because they're the biggest mistakes, this is what we're going to really be getting into this month. Understanding your audience, I think, comes from the actual marketing part, just like the plan does. But we're also going to talk about social media and websites. So today, let's kind of keep going along the line of digital marketing. Digital marketing is basically online marketing. It is the promotion of a brand or a business and how it connects with potential customers using the internet and other forms of digital communication. Okay, so what does that mean? The 4 big ones are your website, which also includes SEO, social media, which everybody is pretty familiar with now, a blog, yes, people still blog, and email marketing. Email marketing is huge. It has the highest ROI, and I'm surprised at how many business owners neglect to address it. If you're not growing your list, you're not moving forward. And as a business owner, I understand at some point when I sell my business, My power's in my list. So grow your list. Grow your list. I can't say that loudly enough. Okay. So what does an effective website include? And we're going to get into that more next week. I'm going to break it down by category, and we're going to really get into those all the categories of content. But to be sure, it is clear and targeted messaging. So many websites have very vague wording. We are cutting edge, world class, out of the box. None of that means anything. You can be, if your website says, we believe in servicing our customers so you can live the best life you can. Well, okay, great. Are you a personal trainer? Are you a nutritionist? Are you a banker? That can apply to one of thousands of things. You have to be specific. You have to use specific language that tells me exactly what you do. And for the love, have a call to action somewhere on the top of your website. Tell people what you want them to do. Are you trying to grow your email list? Offer a cool freebie. If you are trying to make a sale, highlight what you're selling online. You have to tell people what you're expecting so they know what to expect. And then, of course, you're going to also have, and I'm going to get it more into the content portion of the website next week when we talk about website stuff. But SEO is huge. If you don't have the right wording on the right page, you're not going to get found. And we'll come back to that next week. So again, digital marketing is your presence online. We're going to talk about website and social media and blog later this month. I just today kind of want to cover the marketing as a whole. You have to understand in developing your strategy, you have to really define what your goals are. What do you want to happen? Yes, more sales, but how do you accomplish that? Are you growing your list? Are you working on brand awareness? Are you growing your community? You have to know what your objective is if you're going to hit it consistently or at all. And that includes identifying your target audience. Are you, if you've been in business for more than a year, there's a history there. And you can look at the history and determine who your best client is. Is it other small business owners? Is it nonprofits? Is it women who are having health and wellness issues between 35 and 55? There's a pattern there. And once you define your goals and you identify your target, it's much easier to hit, because knowing who you're targeting tells you which platform to be on. If you are targeting women who are 30 to 55, you just about can't escape from Facebook, because that's where most 55-year-old women spend the bulk of their time. And depending on what you're selling and depending on what you're offering, that may be a good thing. But you have to know, so you know which platform to spend time on. You also, in choosing your digital marketing channels, you don't want to overdo it. There's 10 or so popular social media platforms. Can you be on all of them? Absolutely. Who has time to do that? I have an entire team, and it takes everybody for us to be able to have a presence. And I can't escape it because we're a social media company, but most small businesses, 2, maybe 3 platforms is plenty. And I will tell you, you add platforms like you add children. You have one and get used to that one before you decide you're going to add another one. You do not have to be all things to all people, and you absolutely do not have to be on every single social media platform. You must, regardless of platform, create compelling content. And more, especially in 2025, it comes back to your community. Who is your community? Who is your best audience? And how do you speak to them? What do they want to hear? I'm big on educate, inform, and entertain. Those are our 3 pillars. And then we break those down into content strategies. And that's what works for us. But you have to figure out what works for you. And more, business owners are expected to be in front of a camera. It's very hard to develop that know, like, trust factor if they don't know who you are. And making short form video is a great way to establish that. You definitely have to set a budget. Marketing is one of the more expensive investments you're going to make with your business. And you have to understand kind of how much you need to spend and where your time and money are going to go to make the best decision. It might look like Google ads. It might look like Facebook ads. It might look like marketplace ads. It just determines, all of this is determined by your target. audience and your product. What are you selling and who are you selling it to? And of course, we're happy to make recommendations. I do audits for businesses pretty consistently. If you are wanting to have an audit, just let us know. You can drop a comment or send me a direct message. Once you have your plan and your strategy, you have to execute, but you also have to monitor. Well, why does it matter? That thing that I think is so funny that we posted on Reels, it might not get any traction. And if it doesn't get any traction, I don't want to repeat it. I don't want to waste time doing it again. So knowing that up front, you have to monitor and respond accordingly, which is really the last step, is adjust and optimize. But you cannot adjust and optimize if you haven't monitored what's happening currently. We use a software that gives us a report at the end of the month that tells us not only how we're doing with engagement and likes and comments, it also tells us which posts are the highest rated on each platform. And, your engagement rate right now, anything above 1.5% on Instagram is a huge blessing because, Instagram's algorithm has been low lately, low. So don't berate yourself. Oh, I've only got 2%. 2% is amazing on Instagram right now. And if you have a post that has 9%, keep doing posts like that a lot, because that's where you're going to get your biggest bang for your buck. Marketing is critical. Digital marketing is huge. Can I get away with not having a billboard? Absolutely. Never had a billboard ever. Can I get away with not networking? Nope. Not even a little. So if this is something you're interested in and you want us to talk about specifically as it applies to you, we can do a very simple audit. It takes about an hour and a half, or we can do a deep dive where we analyze your competitors and we do a complete printout, and you can really see suggestions to move forward. We're happy to do this. We actually work with a partner that helps us with our analytics so that it's easier. Seriously, easier for you to understand and absorb and make decisions. That's where we are this week. Next week, we're going to talk more about website. If you are a small business owner and you haven't edited your website in 2 years, it's time. 100% it's time. And we're going to talk about checking it for what's working and what's not working, and we'll get more into that next week. But if you need help with a strategy or even an analysis of what you currently have so you can make a new strategy, let us know. Till next week, I am Karen Taradas with Social U, and I'm here to help. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us for the Social University podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media at Stay Social U. That's the letter U. And we will talk to you next week. Remember, you've got this.